The underestimated species. The Harmony Coalition had seen many species rise and fall across the galaxy, but none quite like the humans of Earth. Ambassador Veloth floated in his crystalline form, reviewing the reports from the distant blue world with what could only be described as confusion. These humans had achieved faster-than-light travel in less than 2 centuries after discovering electricity. Most species took millennia to reach such advancement. Remarkable, Veloth whispered through his translation device. His aide, a gentle being from the Morian system, nodded in agreement. Should we extend formal diplomatic relations, Ambassador? Veloth considered this carefully. The Harmony Coalition prided itself on peaceful coexistence, but the galaxy was changing. The Krellin Empire had been expanding aggressively for the past decade, conquering world after world with their massive insectoid fleets. Just last month, they had destroyed the peaceful Zenith Republic, enslaving millions of innocent beings. Not yet, Veloth decided. Let us observe them longer. They seem different from other species we have encountered. Unknown to the ambassador, his conversation was being monitored by Krellin intelligence operatives. Admiral Zexstar, a towering insectoid creature with razor-sharp mandibles and 4 powerful arms, clicked his approval as he reviewed the intercepted transmission. The humans were weak, primitive, and most importantly, unprotected by any galactic trees. Perfect, Zexstar hissed to his subordinate. Another easy conquest. Deploy the 3rd Fleet to this Earth system. We will harvest their resources and add their population to our labor force. The subordinate, a smaller Krellin warrior, hesitated. Admiral, the reports suggest they have achieved interstellar travel. Should we not send a larger force? Zexstar's compound eyes glowed with contempt. Fool, they have been space-capable for less than 50 years. The Zenith Republic had been traveling the stars for 3,000 years, and we crushed them in days. These humans will surrender before we even land on their pathetic world. What neither the Harmony Coalition nor the Krellin Empire knew was that Earth had been preparing for this moment since their first tentative steps into space. Commander Sarah Chun stood on the bridge of humanity's greatest secret, watching the stars through the massive viewscreen. The ship around her was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The Defiant Star stretched nearly 2 kilometers from bow to stern, its hull a matte black that seemed to absorb light itself. Hidden beneath Earth's ocean for the past 20 years, it represented humanity's answer to the harsh realities of galactic politics. Dr. Marcus Webb, the ship's science officer and humanity's leading expert on alien psychology, approached Chun with a grim expression. Commander, long-range sensors are detecting multiple fleet movements in nearby systems. The Krellin expansion is accelerating. Chun nodded grimly. At 35, she was young for a ship commander, but her tactical brilliance had earned her this position through years of simulations and war games against theoretical alien opponents. How long before they notice us? Our intelligence suggests they already have, Dr. Webb replied. Ambassador Veloth's communications were intercepted by Krellin operatives yesterday. They likely know about Earth's location and capabilities. Good, Chun said, surprising her science officer. Let them come. We have been ready for this day since we first looked up at the stars and wondered what was out there. The crew of the Defiant Star was composed of Earth's finest military minds, each selected not just for their skills, but for their ability to think outside conventional parameters. Chief Engineer Rosa Martinez had designed propulsion systems that defied known physics, while Weapons Officer Lieutenant Jake Thompson had created defensive technologies that turned the ship into a fortress. 3 days later, the Krellin 3rd Fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system. Admiral Zexstar gazed at the primitive blue world with satisfaction. His fleet consisted of 200 warships, each capable of reducing a planet's surface to molten slag. The largest vessel, his flagship Bone Crusher, was a kilometer-long nightmare of organic armor and plasma weapons. "Transmit our demands," Zexstar ordered. "They will surrender unconditionally, or we will demonstrate the futility of resistance." The transmission reached Earth within minutes. World leaders gathered in emergency session as the alien voice, cold and merciless, echoed through the United Nations building. "Primitive species of Earth, you will submit to the Krellan Empire. Prepare your population for harvesting. Resistance will result in the total annihilation of your world." President Maria Santos looked around the room at her fellow leaders. Fear was evident on many faces, but there was something else: determination. Humanity had not climbed to the top of Earth's food chain by surrendering to superior forces. They had done it by being clever, adaptable, and utterly ruthless when necessary. "Send our response," President Santos ordered. The reply that reached Admiral Zexstar was not what he expected. A human female appeared on his screen, wearing a military uniform he did not recognize. Commander Chun's voice was calm, almost conversational. "Admiral Zexstar of the Krellan Empire, I am Commander Sarah Chun of the Earth Defense Force. We have received your demands and reviewed your military record. We decline your offer of surrender." Zexstar's mandibles clicked in amusement. "Foolish creature, you speak of declining as if you have a choice. We have conquered 47 worlds. Your primitive weapons cannot harm our ships." Chun smiled, and something in that expression made the Admiral's compound eyes narrow. "Admiral, you have indeed conquered 47 worlds, but you have never fought humans before. We are what you might call a unique species." "Unique?" Zexstar scoffed. "You have barely left your own star system. What could possibly make you unique? We are the only species in the galaxy that evolved." "By competing with ourselves," Chun replied. "Every other race you have conquered had natural predators that shaped their evolution. We are our apex predator. We have been preparing for war since we first picked up sticks and stones." Before Zexstar could respond, his sensor operator began chittering in alarm. "Admiral, massive energy signature detected. Unknown vessel. Approaching from Earth's moon." The defiant star emerged from lunar shadow like a shadow made solid. Its black hull seemed to drink in the light of distant stars, while its weapons ports glowed with an ominous blue energy. The ship's design was unlike anything in known galactic databases: sleek, predatory, and obviously built for one purpose. "Impossible." Zexstar breathed. "Our intelligence reports indicated they had no significant military vessels." Commander Chun's voice came through the communication channel again, now carrying an edge of steel. "Admiral, you have 60 seconds to withdraw your fleet from our system. This is your only warning." Zexstar's shock quickly turned to rage. "You dare threaten the Krellan Empire with a single ship? Fire at will. Destroy that vessel." 20 Krellan. Destroyers opened fire simultaneously, filling space with plasma bolts and particle beams. The weapons that had reduced mighty fortress worlds to rubble struck the defiant star's shields and simply vanished, absorbed by a defensive system that converted the energy into power for the ship's own weapons. "Adaptive shield technology," Dr. Webb announced calmly from his position. "All enemy weapons fire has been analyzed and countered. Shields are actually stronger now than before the attack." Commander Chun nodded. "Lieutenant Thompson, show them what human ingenuity looks like." The defiant star's response was swift and devastating. Instead of conventional weapons, the ship deployed something the galaxy had never seen before: weaponized gravity. 3 Krellan destroyers simply imploded, crushed by their own mass as local gravity fields were manipulated around them. 2 more were torn apart as space-time itself was twisted into knots around their hulls. "What is this sorcery?" Zexstar demanded, his confidence evaporating. Not sorcery, Admiral, Chon replied. Science. We learned long ago that the universe itself is a weapon if you know how to use it. You have been conquering worlds with plasma and particle beams. We have been learning to weaponize the fundamental forces of reality. The battle was unlike anything the galaxy had ever witnessed. The defiant star moved through the Krullan fleet like a shark through minnows, its unconventional weapons turning the enemy's numbers against them. Gravity wells caused collisions between Krullan ships. Localized time dilation fields trapped vessels in temporal loops. Energy-dampening fields turned mighty war engines into floating scrap metal. Within an hour, half of the Krullan Third Fleet was destroyed or disabled. Admiral Zexstar, his flagship badly damaged, finally understood what humanity represented. These were not just another species to be conquered. They were something new, something dangerous. Retreat, he ordered, his voice filled with a fear he had never known. All ships, emergency hyperspace jump. As the surviving Krullan vessels fled Earth's solar system, Commander Chun addressed the galaxy through intercepted communication channels. Her words would be remembered for generations to come. To all who are listening, this is Commander Sarah Chun of Earth. We did not seek this conflict, but we will not be conquered. Humanity extends its hand in friendship to all peaceful species. But to those who would enslave or destroy us, know this: we are not your victims. We are your equals, and we will defend ourselves with everything we have learned in our long climb. From the darkness, the message reached every corner of the galaxy within days. The species that had been dismissed as primitive newcomers had just defeated one of the most feared military forces in known space. The Harmony Coalition, the Zenith survivors, even the neutral trade federations all took notice. Humanity had announced its presence to the galaxy, and the galaxy would never be the same. The galaxy's awakening, the defeat of Admiral Zexstar's Third Fleet, sent shockwaves through the Krullan Empire. For the first time in generations, a Krullan military force had been not just defeated, but utterly humiliated. Emperor Kixthek, the supreme ruler of the insectoid race, clicked his mandibles in fury as he reviewed the battle recordings. How is this possible? The Emperor demanded of his war council. The humans have been space-capable for less than a century. The Third Fleet has conquered systems that have been starfaring for millennia. General Vexmer, the Empire's chief military strategist, studied the tactical displays with growing unease. Emperor, their weapons technology is unlike anything in our databases. They are not using conventional energy weapons or kinetic projectiles. They appear to be manipulating fundamental forces directly. Then we send more ships, Emperor Kixthek declared. Assemble the Grand Fleet, every available vessel. We will crush these humans with overwhelming force. What the Krullan Empire did not realize was that their humiliating defeat had been observed by every major power in the galaxy. Ambassador Veloth of the Harmony Coalition called an emergency session of the Galactic Council, while intelligence agencies across dozens of species scrambled to gather information about humanity's capabilities. On Earth, Commander Sarah Chun stood in the Situation Room beneath the North American Defense Command, surrounded by holographic displays showing fleet movements across the galaxy. Dr. Marcus Webb pointed to a massive concentration of ships forming in Krullan space. Commander, our long-range sensors are detecting the largest military buildup in Tamais. Recorded galactic history. The Krullans are assembling over 2,000 warships. Chon studied the display thoughtfully. At her side, Chief Engineer Rosa Martinez shook her head in amazement. 2,000 ships, Sarah. Even with the Defiant Star's capabilities, those are impossible odds. Are they? Chon asked quietly. She turned to her communications officer. Send a message to all Earth defense installations. Operation Revelation is now active. Across Earth's solar system, hidden installations began powering up. On Mars, beneath the terraforming stations, massive weapons platforms emerged from concealed bunkers. In the asteroid belt, mining operations revealed themselves to be heavily armed fortress stations. Even Earth's moon began opening hidden hangar. Bayes. Dr. Webb stared in shock at the tactical display as dozens of human ships appeared on sensors. How long have we been building all of this? Since we first detected alien radio signals 50 years ago, Chun replied. Humanity learned long ago that if you want peace, you prepare for war. We have been getting ready for this day since we first realized we were not alone in the universe. The ships emerging from hidden bases were not copies of the Defiant Star, but each was a masterpiece of human engineering. The Indomitable was a mobile fortress designed for long-range bombardment. The Phoenix was built for speed and stealth, capable of appearing behind enemy lines without warning. The Titan was a massive carrier that launched swarms of unmanned fighters controlled by advanced artificial intelligence. Word of humanity's hidden fleet spread through the galaxy like wildfire. Species that had dismissed Earth as insignificant suddenly found themselves recalculating their strategic assessments. The humans had not just built one advanced warship, they had constructed an entire armada in secret. Emperor Kickstock received the intelligence reports with growing alarm. 47 ships? How did our spies miss an entire fleet? Emperor, General Veximer replied nervously. Our spies never saw them because they were hidden. The humans have been preparing for this confrontation far longer than we realized. It does not matter, the Emperor declared, though his voice carried less certainty than before. 2,000 ships against 47. The numbers are still in our favor. But the Krullan Empire was not the only force mobilizing. The defeat of their third fleet had emboldened every species that had suffered under Krullan oppression. The Zenith Republic survivors, the peaceful Morian colonies, even the neutral trade federations began, quietly moving their forces toward the conflict zone. Ambassador Veloth addressed the Harmony Coalition with urgency in his crystalline voice. Fellow beings, we have an opportunity here that may not come again. The Krullan Empire has shown weakness. If these humans can stand against them, perhaps we can finally end the age of Krullan expansion. The grand fleet of the Krullan Empire arrived at Earth's solar system with overwhelming force. 2,000 warships, led by Emperor Kickstock himself, aboard the massive dreadnought World Breaker, dropped out of hyperspace in perfect formation. The sight was terrifying, a wall of alien death stretching across space. Asterisk, humans of Earth, Emperor. Kickstock's voice boomed across all frequencies. You have humiliated the Empire and must pay for your insolence. Surrender now, and your deaths will be swift. Commander Chun's response came from the bridge of the Defiant Star, now joined by the rest of Earth's secret fleet. Emperor Kickstick, I am Commander Sarah Chun. We offered your Admiral mercy, and he chose to attack us. You have assembled this fleet to destroy us, believing that numbers alone will ensure your victory. Numbers are all that matter in war, the Emperor replied coldly. Are they? Chun asked. Emperor, let me share something with you about human nature. We have a saying on Earth. It is not the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog. The Krullan Grand Fleet began its advance, moving in the traditional formation that had conquered dozens of worlds. But as they approached Earth's defensive perimeter, something unexpected happened. The human fleet split into small groups, each taking different vectors and speeds. What are they doing? General Veximer asked, studying the tactical display. They are dividing their forces. This makes no strategic sense. Emperor Kickstock watched as human ships scattered across the battlefield like seeds in the wind. They are running. Fear has broken their formation. But Commander Chun was not running. She was implementing a battle strategy that no other species had ever attempted. Human ships used their superior speed and maneuverability to stay constantly in motion, never presenting a stationary target. They struck at the edges of the Krellin formation, hit hard, and vanished before retaliation could be organized. The Phoenix appeared behind the Krellin left flank, destroyed 3 destroyers with gravity weapons, and disappeared into stealth mode before the enemy could respond. The Titan launched its fighter swarms, which moved in patterns that seemed random, but were actually based on Earth's own ecosystem behaviors. Swarm intelligence learned from studying birds, fish, and insects. Impossible. General Vexmer breathed as he watched human fighters move like living creatures, adapting and evolving their tactics in real time. They fight like a living organism. The Indomitable used its long-range capabilities to target Krellin. Command ships, disrupting communication and coordination. Without their rigid hierarchy, many Krellin vessels found themselves unable to respond to the humans. Fluid tactics. But the most devastating weapon in humanity's arsenal was not technological. It was psychological. Dr. Webb had spent years studying alien psychology, and he understood that the Krellin Empire's strength came from its absolute belief in its own superiority. Emperor, Chun's voice came through the communication channel. Your forces are impressive, but they lack something crucial. Experience fighting an enemy that refuses to play by your rules. We have conquered 47 worlds. Emperor Kixthek roared. Yes, you have, Chun replied calmly. But every one of those worlds fought you the same way, with conventional tactics, rigid formations, and predictable strategies. We are not like them. We learned warfare by fighting ourselves for millions of years. The battle raged for hours, but it was unlike any conflict the galaxy had ever witnessed. The humans refused to engage in traditional ship-to-ship combat. Instead, they turned the battle into a deadly game of 3-dimensional chess, using the environment itself as a weapon. Asteroids were redirected into Krellin formations. Gravity wells were used to slingshot human ships at impossible velocities. Solar radiation was focused and weaponized. The humans fought like no other species in the galaxy because they had learned warfare from a world where everything was trying to kill everything else. As the Krellin casualties mounted, other species began arriving at the battle zone. The Harmony Coalition fleet, led by Ambassador Veloth himself, dropped out of hyperspace. The Zenith Republic survivors appeared with their remaining warships. Even neutral trade federations brought their escort fleets. What are you doing here? Emperor Kixthak demanded as dozens of alien fleets surrounded the battlefield. Ambassador. Veloth's crystalline form pulsed with determination. We are here to witness the end of the Krellin Empire's expansion. These humans have shown us something we thought impossible, that you can be beaten. The psychological impact was devastating. The Krellin Empire's power had always rested on fear, on the belief that resistance was futile. But here, in Earth's solar system, that myth was being shattered by a species that had been dismissed as primitive. Commander Chun seized the moment. Emperor Kixthek, you have a choice. You can continue this battle and lose everything, or you can withdraw and preserve what remains of your fleet. But understand this. Humanity will not be conquered. We will not be enslaved. We will not disappear quietly into the night. The Emperor looked around at his battered fleet, surrounded by enemies who no longer feared him. For the first time in his reign, he felt the cold touch of defeat. All ships, he ordered quietly, prepare for hyperspace jump. As the Krellin Grand Fleet retreated, the assembled alien fleets did not pursue. Instead, they watched in silence. As humanity had won not just a battle, but had fundamentally changed the balance of power in the galaxy. Commander Chun addressed the assembled fleets. To all who witnessed this day, humanity extends its hand in friendship. We do not seek conquest or domination. We seek only the right to exist as free beings in a galaxy large enough for all of us. The response was immediate. The Harmony Coalition formally invited Earth to join their organization. The Zenith Republic offered trade agreements. Even former neutral powers began establishing diplomatic relations. Dr. Webb stood beside Commander Chun as they watched the alien fleets departing peacefully. Sarah, do you realize what we have done? We have not just defended Earth. We have changed the entire galactic political landscape. Chun nodded thoughtfully. Marcus, when we first looked up at the stars, we wondered if we were alone. Now we know we are not alone. And more importantly, the galaxy knows we are not helpless. The battle at Earth became known throughout the galaxy as the day humanity announced its arrival on the galactic stage. But more than that, it became the day the galaxy learned that size and numbers alone do not determine victory. Sometimes the strength of the fight in the heart matters more than the size of the army. Humanity had earned its place among the stars, not through conquest, but through the demonstration that freedom and determination could overcome any odds. The galaxy would never again make the mistake of underestimating the species from the small blue world in the outer rim. And in the depths of space, other ancient powers took notice. Humanity's unique approach to warfare and diplomacy had caught the attention of beings far older and more powerful than the Krellan Empire. The age of human expansion was about to begin, and the galaxy was not ready for what came next.